Can't do that on live. We'll get sued by ESPN, and we don't want that. All right, we are here. Welcome, y'all, back to another episode of the Dirty Bird Nation Report, the unofficial official podcast of Falcons Twitter. We have a very, very special guest today. One one guest that y'all would love to marry, and one guest that y'all want to
I'm
kill.
already married. I am already married. So
Did you?
if
I
you're
just said.
looking to if you're looking to court me, I am not a special guest because I've been here before and I'm also married. So yes, I thank you for the great introduction. This is Marcus Sniffles from Twitter, from YouTube, from KTSE Avenue. So thank you for that lovely introduction. I appreciate that.
Didn't you just hear me say one guest that you want to kill?
Why would you say that about her?
I'm talking about you. Okay.
How did he
Thank you
flip?
very much.
How did
We
he flip?
have the
How did he really flip this on me? Like, okay,
because that's him. Just like you addressed him before we went live, that's how
yeah,
he does.
it's okay. He want to put on them gloves. It's all right. You have to
Uh-huh.
Floyd Mayweather you.
Nah,
Okay.
my
Oh my
money.
god.
I'll put my whole salary on Eb. My
Look,
whole salary on Eb.
they call me Tyson in a dress. So what we doing?
Boom.
Yeah, no.
Uh-huh.
I just wasn't sure. I thought she was talking about me. That's my mistake. It's my mistake.
That's a lie. Y'all know. Y'all all know. Lady Tell 'em from Twitter. She's here, present in the flesh. She runs an amazing spaces every Tuesday, and I hate spaces because my spaces never work. But every Tuesday, she runs an Atlanta Falcon space. So y'all need to check that out. Make sure you're following her Twitter and go into that space. She is also part of the beautiful women over at the Sports Tea podcast over here on YouTube. Everything will be in the description box below. I think I've already linked a couple things, but I'll link some more. Make sure y'all go subscribe to their channel. Welcome, welcome, Eb. How are you today?
I am good. Besides Marcus, but I am wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
I
Thank
am
you.
so wonderful. I'm going through what they call that hibernation right now. So yeah, y'all just don't mind me right now. We're hibernating until like it gets closer to like Christmas and New Year's. So yeah, we're chilling.
Oh, because the requests are still gonna come in, and all requests have to be filtered through me. So
I'm so dead. I'm so dead.
So we beat the fucking Pudats. We beat the fucking Saints. The fucking ain't. Fuck them, aka the visitors that show up on the screen when you go to the game. We won 24-15 with their overpriced fucking quarterback Derek Carr. Fucking losers. I hate y'all and everybody at work. If you find this shit, I hate y'all too. And that's why we've been arguing every goddamn day since since Monday. They want to talk all that shit at work, and then when they lose, all of a sudden y'all want to run. Don't run now. Don't run now. But it was a nice win, surprisingly. Ed, what you think of the win
To
overall?
be honest with you, I was at peace that day. Georgia beat Georgia Tech, so we were, going to the SEC championship. So it was win or lose. I was perfectly fine with the situation, but I was shocked at what I was seeing. I did see a completely different team from the last three games that we lost. I did see that. Yes, some things in the game were very questionable, but when you're sitting over here playing the Saints, and if anybody knows about the rivalry of how much that rivalry means to the Falcons and the Saints, for the Atlanta Falcons to really come out and kind of, in a sense, dominate that game that way, that was pretty exciting to see. And I saw a different flavor from the team. So again, a win is a win. We came out of the city with that win, so we defend the dome.
Hell yeah, we defended that shit. All I wanted to do was win. I didn't care how. Everyone knows it's fuck the Saints. They hate us. We hate them. I'm just glad nobody got into a fight this time. Because who wants to be banned from the stadium for life?
Yeah, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, though, it's again, the rivalry gets real. It gets real. But I think both from the Falcons and from the Saints perspective, I think it really wasn't a big rivalry like it's normally been because both of us are not looking too hot and looking too shabby. So I think that's what the situation kind of really was.
Whoa, what do you mean? What do you mean one of y'all is not looking too hot or too shabby?
I said we're not looking too shabby.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was about to say because
we're both not looking too shabby. So it was already, in a sense, the rivalry was already. It used to be like a level 2000. This was like really a level 2.
I feel like one of these teams is looking a little bit more shabby than the other one is.
Oh, I wonder which one.
I mean, the one that's undefeated in the division looks a lot better than the other one. I would say, like, it's hard for me to put those two teams on the same level based on how they've been playing this year. It's pretty obvious and I don't know how people did not see this coming. It's pretty obvious who the best team in that division is. Like, you can see it from the beginning of the season. Everything that I guess people predicted about, like, we know who Derek Carr is, right? Like, everybody knows his limitations as a quarterback, and everybody knows the limitations that the Saints have as a roster with their magical cap space that just doesn't seem to exist until it's time to sign players or whatever. And like, they just haven't had a good like 5 years, and for them to spend all that money on Derek Carr, it's just like, what was the point? Like, you could have got this same, in my opinion, I think they could have got the same production from Jameis Winston for a whole lot cheaper. But Saints are going to Saint.
Yeah, I mean, we actually had a Saints fan in the space last night actually said that he would have preferred to see Jameis Winston play than us, them playing like, Derek Carr and different things like that. So, right now their organization is really going through it. They're from listening to their press conferences. It's a lot of things going over there. I mean, be honest with you, but I still give them props. There still can be a team that, still can come out and do something. So I'm not going to slowly sleep on them all the way, because you just never know with the Saints. So I'm still not going to sleep on them. But hey, if they want to be the Panthers, they can go ahead and be the Panthers. I'll love it. That will make me so happy.
Don't sleep on the Panthers. Don't sleep on the Panthers. They're not eliminated from the playoffs yet. They can still make a push, even though they have like 10 losses. They can still make a push. They're not mathematically eliminated yet.
I'm eliminated. Right.
Ed has spoken. They're done.
They're done. Put a fork in them.
It's a wrap.
It's like I put it to you like this. I bet you $5 half them fans wish they would have got CJ now. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, the person that wanted CJ Stroud got fired this week. So
3 people that wanted the CJ Stroud got fired. The 3 everybody got fired that wanted CJ Stroud. So yeah, it's that organization is in sense very funny. Very funny. So we'll see how they look next season. But this season, yeah, they're overcooked. We're having Panther stew for Christmas.
Like I said, I just don't understand the people that thought that the Saints were just going to run away with this division. It didn't make sense. This team wasn't good, and Derek Carr is not good. He's not an upgrade for anybody. Like, if Derek Carr was a free agent right now, like, how many teams are like banging on the door like, hey, come on in and be our unquestioned starter? It's not a whole lot.
I'll put it to you like this. The main ones that were crying and say that they were going to do that were the Saints fans, because they felt like if you have a quarterback, change scenery, that it was going to be better. They actually felt like they had the better roster. And they said that Derek Carr was on a better team. He had a defense. They still have faith in their defense, even though we try to tell them your defense is old. They try to tell us getting Nielsen, Amimata, even getting Caden Ellis, that it wasn't gonna. We're taking the leftovers and different things like that. And it's kind of showing that it wasn't the fact that we're taking the leftovers. It's just y'all defense is just it's getting old. Cam Jordan is not looking like Cam Jordan of yesteryears. It's the whole defense is not looking strong. You got Lattimore that's out. I haven't really heard his name really this season anyway. So just to be shocked to know that he was out, it just shows you what a quiet season that they're having at this moment. So, again, according to them, they could have ran away with it. But I've been saying at the beginning of the season, I say, hey, look, if we're looking at it from perspective on paper, both the Falcons and the Saints look good. It's going to come down to either one of us. And right now, I don't think a lot of people would have thought the Falcons were going to be where we are, especially with the quarterback that we have.
I thought so. I had at the beginning of the season in my divisional predictions and playoff predictions, I did have the Falcons winning the NFC South. It is on my Twitter account that I did it like in, I think, August or something like that. So I believed. If no one else believed, you can always rely on me to believe in you guys and support y'all from afar, but still supporting.
Really? A Colts fan? Okay. Let me write that down. I'm going to set that in my book.
Put that in your book. I keep telling y'all, he is a Colts Falcons fan.
I'm just saying, I picked you guys to win the division. Like I can be objective about these things. I can look at the roster and the teams and be like, yeah, this team is probably going to be better. Like I think obviously everybody thought the Panthers weren't going to be good. If anything, I would have thought the Bucks would have been, the second best team in that division. Like, because even though I hate Baker Mayfield. Like, I have a personal vendetta against him. I don't know where it came from or why I have it, but I just do. I just felt like they threw Odell Beckham under the bus for Baker. But I thought that he was a little bit better than Derek Carr, and I thought the Buccaneers had a better roster surrounding him. So if it was between two teams in the NFC South, it'd have been between the Falcons and the Bucks. And for me, like I like the Saints, I just did not see it. I don't know what people saw in them. And it wasn't even like Saints fans. It was a lot of the like I you know what, I might look it up if I go to like preseason predictions, like from the mainstream media, from like ESPN and Fox Sports 1. I'm pretty sure a lot of people had the Saints winning that division. And I just, and even though I do have, like everybody had questions about the quarterback, I was just like, there's too much talent over there on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
Like regardless of the quarterback, it's just too much.
Yeah. And I think that's one of the main reasons why people have questions about the usage of some of our players when it comes down to it. And I just feel like, we have questions too, as the fans. We have major questions about it, but I don't think we thought it was going to be a problem at the beginning of the season because of how it was told to us and how we were perceiving that it was going to be. But I will say this, shout out to Ryan Nielsen. He has shown as a first year DC that he can get something out of his defense. And again, yes, we're still lacking that pass rush. We still need us an edge. Grady Jarrett is out for the season and with an ACL injury, but we're still doing it. We have like twice as many freaking sacks than we did last year. We're at 22 right now. So we're doing something. They're getting home somewhere, somehow. It's just we're not getting home on the constant basis like we need to. So I can't wait until we address that portion of the defense and actually, get to where we need to be. I like my secondary. Shout out to Jesse Bates. Just make him a forever Falcon at this point because that was the best ever pickup besides us getting Alex back as a free agent off signing, like seriously. But and Tony Gonzalez, you can say that too, and Michael Turner. So, but that right there to help solidify that defense, that is what we needed. So I'm proud of that. I am proud of that situation with the defense. So shout out to Ryan Nielsen for that. But, we still have some question marks on the offensive line and we still have some question marks, with the uses of the players.
Oh, facts. Yeah. Speaking of defense, they allowed 0 touchdowns against the fucking Swamp Rats. So
hey, field goals were supposed to help them win, but as it's known, again, it didn't help them.
It didn't help. Thank goodness. Like Ryan Nielsen, he's been doing his fucking job. Phenomenal job with the defense.
Yep.
That we need other players, but shit, they allowed 0 touchdowns. They've been doing great all season long. Like
bend don't break type defense. That's a bend don't break type defense, and I love it.
Yeah, and Jesse Bates with the fucking pick 6 to help us secure the win. Like without that shit would have been real questionable. And then he punched out the ball.
close. It would have been real close.
Yeah,
I would say that it would have been
right.
real close because we kind of stalled a little bit on the offense, right before halftime. So, and then
Yeah,
he
we've
threw
been
a pick
stressed
right
the fuck
before
out.
halftime. Well, I ain't gonna say it
Perez,
was him. I'm not gonna say it was on him. Somebody ran the wrong route. We're not gonna mention their names.
well,
What?
let's go ahead and jump into that real quick. Jump into the wrong route. So we have been having an argument. Well, kind of, not really. Well, first of all, South Breeze, shout out South Breeze, he's in the comments. He doesn't think Bajan is a generational talent, and we argue with him about that. And the question of is Bajan being used properly has come up. Personally, I say no because of the stupid ass play caller that we have that needs to be working at a FedEx warehouse somewhere. But whatever. But also, Bajan, he has made some questionable decisions. He is a rookie,
Mm,
and he might be one of the people who ran the wrong route and had the ball get intercepted. Now, some people are saying that's Ritter. Some people are saying it's Bajan, and there's others saying it's Jonnu Smith. That
So it's just the route concepts that we're running. Like you're running too many people in the same direction, and the play call probably more than likely with Bajan. He cut the play kind of short a little bit, cut that route kind of short. And Ritter was expecting him to run the long pass, but then if anything, there could have been another player, which I think that's why a lot of people say that it was Jonnu Smith, because Jonnu Smith could have been right there as well to try to catch the ball. So it could have went either or. The thing about it is just this. We don't have creative, and I think we kind of got spoiled with Kyle Shanahan was seeing the creativity about how you can have routes being run. And these route concepts are just not, they're just not it. They're not what they're supposed to be. Like when you get into the red zone, that's where you're supposed to really open up your playbook and get real creative to try to score touchdowns. I just don't feel like we're there. We can't barely even get creative enough to throw down the field to move along. But when we get down there to the red zone, it's almost kind of like, okay, now he didn't use the ball his plays. Now what do you have to get into the red zone? And Matt Ryan, when he called the play with us against Washington, he said that you're using up all your plays, and by the time you get to the red zone, what do you have left? You know what I mean? Like you have stuff that now they're going to sit over here and jump the routes. They're going to do this, and it's gonna and I've been saying this from the beginning. Arthur Smith is not helping Desmond Ritter. Desmond Ritter's not helping himself, and then the team is not helping. Like if you know for a fact that these routes need to be cut short, that they need to be ran a different way, that you need to try to, in a sense, help your QB, especially your rookie QB, then you need to figure out ways that are going to help him. And I just don't feel like they were doing that in the beginning and different things like that. Like him and Drake London have a connection, but he's trying to force the ball to Van Jefferson. He's trying to sit over here and include Jonnu Smith. He's trying to get it to Kyle Pitts. He's trying to get it to Mike Collins. We still got Scotty Miller who's over there sometime that's open. So we have too many people that are just, are not seeing the production that they need to see when it comes down to it. So it's just at the end of the day, we need to find an offensive coordinator. He needs to just give up the play calling and find an offensive coordinator. We're going to keep him. Let's find an OC that is going to help us have that creativity that we need, especially with all that talent.
Yeah, like 100,000%. Like I think before the game, they keep showing Drake London in the end zone. The NFL, Twitter, Fox Sports, like everyone shows Drake London fucking in the end zone catching a one-handed grab. Why aren't we doing that in the game? Like why is that never utilized in the game? It makes no sense. Like that's the only time we're gonna see him in the end zone is for his warm-ups.
Hey, you can say that. I mean, even it was on one point to where you're trying to run a fake play. You're trying to have Jonnu Smith throw the ball into the freaking end zone. Like it's certain things that he's using people that he's not supposed to be using in certain plays. Like certain plays, Bijan should be being used. Certain times Tyler Algier needs to be used. Sometimes Pitts needs to be there. You know what I mean? So it's like he's trying to evenly distribute the ball, but it's like you don't have you have the talent, but you don't have the talent to do what you want to do. And then the concepts are just trash. Like they look like high school concepts, to be honest with you. I've seen some high school. I've seen what the new generation high school routes are being ran, and that's what they look like. And I just seen that last time, missing wide open players dropping the ball. I seen it all.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
getting way too cute.
I was gonna agree with Breeze in the chat as far as like trying to find a new offensive coordinator. It's like you hired the head coach to be your offensive coordinator to call the plays. Like he's an offensive coach. Like if you would have hired like a defensive coach and the offense was still sputtering like it is kind of now, then it's like, all right, let's go find another offensive guy. But Arthur Smith was brought in because he's an offensive play caller. He helped. I don't know if he actually did it, but he helped, develop the run game in Tennessee, which is probably not that hard when you have prime Derrick Henry, but whatever. But it's almost like if you as a general manager or the owner, if you go to him and say like, hey, we know we hired you to be the offensive head coach and call the plays, but right now we want you to stop calling plays. Like at that point, he's just fired.
Yeah.
Like that's what you're telling him. Like there's only, I think there's been one scenario that I can think of recently, and it happened last year, where the Eagles, their offensive head coach gave up play calling duties for the OC. And I don't know what the thinking was behind that or what the reasoning was, but the team got better offensively. And maybe it was because the Eagles coach was a rookie head coach, and he was like, you know what, maybe this is too much for me. Let me just, move over the play calling duties and say what you want. It worked. They wound up in the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts is now like a guy, and now that offensive coordinator is not a Colts head coach. So I feel a lot better about that. But it's just like, at this point, you're not like, I don't want to say you're not in the same position as the Eagles were, but I mean, Arthur Smith has been there a lot longer than Sirianni was in Philadelphia. Like that was his first year, and he was just like, all right, let me go ahead and like, move off of this or try to, share the responsibility. But just based on what we were talking earlier, real quick. So preseason predictions, ESPN had the Falcons ranked number 28 out of 32. Bleacher Report had the Falcons third in the NFC South, going 7-10, and NFL.com, they had 24 people voted that the Saints would win the division, and 3 votes for the Falcons. So
I didn't believe in Desmond Ritter. That's all.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't either, but I believed in Bijan. I believe in Kyle Pitts. I believe in Drake London, and I believed in that defense. I believe I was, and he's not playing the best. Like he's not playing as well as he was last year. But I thought AJ Terrell would kind of roll his season over and kind of continue to get better. He's not bad, but he's not like the like last year he was playing out of his mind. I don't know what was going on last year. But
after he got rid of them 3 games, the 3 games that he played in, it did. I mean, the thing with AJ Terrell is too, you got to realize we got Jeff Okudah on the other side. It was all to AJ Terrell last year. I'll be honest with you. He is CB number 1, but when you have another ball hawk playmaker like Jeff Okudah, and then you have a bomb ass safety in the back, that's going to take some of your sign away, because the thing is it solidified that back end for us. We don't have to just rely on AJ. Like we called it last year. We need another corner. We can't go into this new season without having somebody on the opposite side of AJ to help take the pressure off of him. You know what I mean? So that I think that's probably why it's kind of diminished a little bit. But again, your secondary is only going to be good as your front. And in the beginning of the season, our front was looking good, But again, when the injuries started piling up, should we lose Troy Anderson? Turn around, we're losing Grady. Turn around, we're losing people. People are injured. People are hurt. Like it hurts, especially when you lose somebody like Grady Jarrett on that defensive line. That's your heartbeat. So now it's trying to replace that production, and that's a hard production to replace. That's like the freaking Rams losing Aaron Donald, or the Browns losing Myles Garrett. That's hard production to try to replace when it comes down to it. So that's why we need somebody else on the line, and we need to go out there and go get edge rushers, because at this point we're not going to be what we need to be. And I feel like Nielsen's defense can really be up there. Like what he's doing with this group I really can see if he actually get the pieces that he needs and get that pass rush, then whoo, I was gonna say we'll be good. And from what I heard, the Panther fans are saying that we're just literally a quarterback away. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how this off season actually transpires and how we finish with the rest of the season and figure out where our draft position is going to be. And that can lead us to our off season plans.
Yeah, we're gonna oof. Oof. Yeah, we Falcons fans, except for the diehards that think everything's gravy all the time and aren't realists, they're just super fans. Us realists, we were just like, let's just see what happens this year with Ritter at quarterback.
I mean, he's
We
a
were,
what can you lose? You're not losing anything on it.
yeah,
I
it's
think
just like,
he's performing at about the level that I think a lot of people thought he would. I think most people thought he'd probably be a lot worse. But I mean, for where he was drafted at, for the level of talent he has as far as mobility and throwing the ball, like I think he turns the ball over too much. But outside of that, I mean, it's like, I mean, he was drafted in the third round for a reason, you know. So to expect him to perform on a higher level it's just hard to expect that from him.
Yeah, and then too, I don't feel like he's in a good situation when it comes down to development of QBs. Like, you know, hey, if you're a turnover king, you're a turnover king. Shout out to Josh Allen. But at the end of the day, you know, is basically in a sense, it's like some of the turnovers, I'm not going to put all on him. I'm not. And then some of them, yes. Like, bro, what were you thinking? Like the second turnover he had in the game, like you threw it right to him. You know what I mean? Like that's on him. First one, somebody ran the red route, and I think he's on one of those ones that are like on the bad side of it because like literally when you really do look at some of the turnovers, it's like, bro, that really wasn't on him. You really can't blame him, but you can blame him. You see what I'm saying? But I just feel like he was just on the bad side of those because sometimes it was just a good play. Sometimes it was a very just damn good read. I mean, we didn't see Tom Brady get picked up by the best. So, you know, sometimes it happens, but I think what a lot of people don't like that is happening in the red zone. It's not like it's happening like in the middle of the field or in your territory. Well, we don't want it in the territory because that could be a pick six, but it's happening right when we're about to score, like right there from that 20-yard line and to the red zone, like, you know what I mean, to the end zone. So I just feel that if he could actually sit down and work on that himself, then yeah, we might could see a better Ritter. We might could see a better Ritter.
Yeah, when it comes to turning the ball over, like there's a couple of like quarterbacks, like Josh Allen is one that you named, and even Patrick Mahomes has had 10 interception seasons. But you cannot be, and I'm not putting it all on Desmond because I think Arthur Smith has not really put him in the position to make plays. But if you're gonna be someone like Josh Allen and turn the ball over a lot, there's got to be an upside there. You can look at the Philly game that he played last week. Dude was making plays. Like, dude's a baller. He can throw it all over the field, make all the throws. He can run with the ball. He's big, fast, all that stuff. But it's almost like a give and take thing, where it's just like it's like dating or whatever. Where it's like, what are you willing to put up with? It's like, okay, she's pretty, she's smart, she's got a good job, she's good with kids, but she can't cook. So it's like, you know what? We'll make that work. We'll just go out to eat, or I'll learn to cook. It can't be, oh, she don't look nice, she's got a bad attitude, she also can't cook, and like it can't be a bunch of negatives. And you're just like, well, like that's kind of what Desmond Ritter is. There's not a lot of positives with Desmond Ritter. With Josh Allen's like, dog, I'm fly, I dress nice, I got money, I got a nice car, I got a nice house, but my hairline is pushed back. Like, there's certain things you can give and take. Like, there's a lot of great things about you, but there's that one thing that's like, I don't like that. Like, Josh Allen is that guy where everything is like perfect except that one thing. With Desmond Ritter, it's like there's not that one thing that's like, okay, I can overlook some of the negative aspects or traits about you. Like I think that would that's kind of the issue with him, where it's just like you have to almost be like, you got to almost kind of be like Brock Purdy, where it's like you can't go out there and make mistakes. Like, you ain't got to throw it all over the place. You ain't got to be fucking Patrick Mahomes. You got to, you almost, no, you got to be Tom Brady at the beginning, like 2001 Tom Brady, where he was throwing it for like if you go back, like people kind of do a revisionist history when it comes to Tom Brady, because it's like, oh, Tom Brady was throwing all over the place, 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards, MVP. Go look at his stats from them first 3 years when he first starting. He was throwing in the Super Bowl. He had like 150 yards, but he didn't have any turnovers. He might not have any touchdowns, but he's not going to turn the ball over. He's going to keep you in the game. He's going to take what the defense gives him, but he's not going to turn it over. And that's kind of, and then you build on top of that. And then you know, obviously with hard work and then building around him, having an offense, having an elite defense, build all this stuff around him. So it's like, hey, we got a good, like, you can look at Desmond Ridder like, hey, we got a good defense. I don't know what their ranking is, but the Falcons might be they're probably a top 10 defense right now. We got a top 10 defense. We got, you know, ball hawks back there. We got, you know, we not have a pass rush, but we have a top 10 defense. We got playmakers at receiver, at tight end. We got two arguably top 10 running backs in the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is just throw it to the guy that's open. If he's not open, don't throw it to him. That's it. If you do that and everybody else does their job, as Marcus predicted, we'll win the division and we'll host a playoff game. And that's what's going to happen, because he's not doing it to perfection, but he's doing it a little bit. And it's like, why can't the Falcons be the 49ers South? Why not?
Well, one, we don't have Kyle Shanahan anymore. I'm just being real. We don't have Kyle Shanahan anymore. That's why we can't do that. But no, as you were saying, with Ridder, I never expected Ridder to come out there to be Pat. Matter of fact, I always said let Desmond come out there and literally be a game manager. I don't need him trying to throw for 300 yards. I don't need him trying to be captain, you know, trying to save the day, be a hero. I need you to just be a team player, get out there, 250 yards at the most, no turnovers, and give me about 1 or 2 touchdowns. That's all I care about. That's all I wanted for him to do. That's the only thing that I really legitimately wanted from him. I wasn't those ones that were trying to do something, because I knew just by looking, he doesn't have a high ceiling. Now, did I want him to be successful? Yes. I mean, you will want your quarterback to be successful, just like how the 49ers want Brock Purdy to be successful. They saw what he can do last season and they wanted that to carry over. Same thing with the Washington Commanders. They saw Sam Howell beat the freaking Cowboys. So they wanted that to go into this season, especially with them having Eric Bieniemy as an offensive coordinator. They thought that they were going to get something out of it. Everybody is going to think that they're going to get something out of their quarterback. Even you as a Colts fan, you know, you wanted AR to work out. You know what I mean? Even if that means having to bring him in just a little bit to get him prepared for it. But you guys wanted him to work out. Y'all wanted him to be successful. But at the end of the day, you know, again, like I always tell people, Desmond only had 4 games. Where the Falcons messed up, they should have cut Mariota way before the bye week.
That's what I said.
And let him get the reps. They were too concerned with trying to make the playoffs. Like, look, I get it. Playoffs are good. I understand the whole thing behind it when it comes down to the playoffs. But in the same token, I'm just like, at the end of the day, get your rookie out here, because you already know you're not going to keep Mariota. So get your rookie out here and let him get some game time. Let him experience this. And I'm not saying that could have helped with the turnovers, but we probably wouldn't have that much. Not going to say that would help, but we probably wouldn't have that much. We probably would have a better Desmond Ridder play than what we're seeing now, because I feel like now the weight of the world is on his shoulder to go out there and be something that he clearly probably doesn't have the capacity or just the development or skill set to be. You know, again, it's only one Patrick Mahomes, it's only one Jalen Hurts, it's only one Tom Brady, it's only one Drew Brees, whatever. He has to be Desmond Ridder. And I just don't feel like Arthur Smith put him in the position to be Desmond Ridder.
Which is why he needs to be fired. Get that man up out of here. And speaking of more reasons why he needs to be fired, shout out to our homie Roderick Scott. He's a homie. Eb knows him well. I know him well. He's great, like fucking Frosted Flakes. He got a question for us. Which are you all? Run the ball, folks, or get Kyle Pitts involved in the red zone, folks? Let
Get
me
Kyle
go first.
Pitts involved in the red zone. So,
Both
I
of
mean,
y'all get Kyle Pitts involved?
the thing is, you got a 6'6" person. Again, you're gonna run the ball down there. I feel like run the ball until you just, in a sense, okay, look, hey, we can't go down here in the red zone. They're playing for us to run the ball. Let's throw the ball. But that's where the route concepts have to come in. That's where the creativity has to come in. That's where a lot of that we're not seeing in the red zone is not coming in. And the thing is, like I said, get your 6'6" tight end in there. Get Jonnu Smith in there. You know what I mean? Get your 50-50 ball Drake London in there. Like, get people involved when it comes down to throw the ball. Like, again, I know running is a little bit easier, but we drafted this tight end for a reason. Okay, we drafted Drake London for a reason. It's not for them just to sit there and look and watch us try to run the ball 50 million times. We don't have a Derrick Henry. Okay, we don't have a linebacker as a running back. I'm sorry.
So I'm looking at the question, and if I was a Falcons fan, based on the personnel that this team has, and looking at the question, my answer would be yes. Run the ball and get Kyle Pitts involved in the red zone. So, like, in between the 20s, I'm running the ball. I think Bijan is a top 10 running back. I don't think he's being used properly, and I think that's been shown by the fact that the media has asked the coach about that. He's like, hey, why isn't Bijan getting red zone touches? Why isn't he getting more involved in the passing game? Like, the fact that the media feels comfortable asking him, it's kind of shows like, hey, you guys got this guy. You guys picked him this high for a reason. Why isn't he getting as many touches? So that kind of goes to that point. And I think we saw last week with against the Saints how Tyler Algier was pretty much able to put the game away at the end of the fourth quarter with his running style. So it's like you have two good to great running backs that are good enough to carry the load downfield. Like, do you have Derrick Henry in his prime? No. But you got two guys in their primes that are, if you put them together and squint a little bit, they might give you that kind of production. But then, like you said, once you get into the red zone, it's time to start calling. We're not calling plays. We're calling players.
Exactly.
So, you said, Kyle Pitts is 6'6". Get him one-on-one. And like, it's old school. It's old school Madden. Like, just throw it up. Either he's gonna catch it or it's gonna go out of bounds. Like, that's it. One-on-one, toss it up there. Make a play. If he doesn't, you got one of the best kickers in the league. He can kick it from wherever. So I just don't understand the idea of having all these playmakers. Like, you have I think Drake London is a pretty good receiver. He's also a giant person. He's 6'4". Get him one-on-one. Toss it up there. What's the worst that can happen? If he's one-on-one, throw it to the back of the end zone. Catch it or it goes out of bounds. Like, you have to trust your guys to make a play. And it's just like, I don't feel like with these kind of players, you have to get like super cute. Like, oh, we got to do these elaborate crossing patterns and, weird routes. Like, hey man, it's like the end of a game. Like, the Bulls, if it's close, if it's the fourth quarter and they got 20 seconds left and they're down by 1, I'm not calling the play. I'm just saying, get the ball to Jordan. Go figure it out. If I'm the Warriors, I'm down by 2. I'm not calling the play. I'm saying, get the ball to Steph Curry. Exactly. Get the ball to your playmakers. Like, I'm not overthinking this. No. Whatever. Like, you got to have a money play. That's all it is. It's a money play. You got to have a play that's like, it works no matter what. Because your guy is just, you got a cheat code out there. You got Randy Moss. Toss it up there. Yeah. He gonna catch it or he gonna catch it or he's not. Or nobody's gonna catch it. But like, come on.
That's what a lot of Falcon fans want to happen. Like, just throw it up there and let them go get it. You got playmakers that can go get it. So again, that your sentiments has been called out from a lot of Falcon fans. I think what it is that Arthur Smith doesn't trust himself. I think that's the major thing. I don't think he trusts himself to make the right play call for that type of option, or it's what everybody's saying, and kind of ask the question, does Arthur Smith really trust Desmond Ridder? Like, does he trust him enough to make that type of decision to throw the ball? But then, like I said, you got Jonnu Smith and trying to get cute in the play zone with a trick play and throwing it for a touchdown. Like, what are you doing? Like, run the ball. If that's what you're gonna do, run the ball. Why is why you got the ball in Jonnu Smith's hand trying to do a trick play in the red zone? Like
Good.
we're not doing that.
Okay, so you said that people are questioning if Arthur Smith trusts Desmond Ritter.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's been a question
that's
for since
that's
the
been a
beginning.
legit question. Yeah, that's been a legit question.
Okay, so I'll ask you guys who after last year, after the end of the season, the season ends, and you guys are coming into this year, and there are a couple of quarterbacks available, and the Falcons' name is not involved in any of them, not in the draft, not in free agency, not for trade, and they decide to roll. Hey, we're going with Desmond Ritter. Between the owner, the general manager, and the head coach, out of those three, who do you think was the person that said Desmond Ritter is the guy here? If you had to
So
pick between the three.
so I'm gonna break this down to you. Arthur Blank is not a football guy. So we're gonna take him out of the equation because Arthur Blank is just gonna go with what Arthur Blank is. The synopsis is in the room. I'm gonna put in Rich McKay. Then I'm going to say the GM. Then I'm going to say Arthur Smith. And I think the person that's going to make that decision is going to be coming from Rich McKay, and Arthur Smith is going to agree with it because Arthur Smith is very stubborn. He picked Desmond Ritter. He had faith in Desmond Ritter. He's going to roll with Desmond Ritter. I don't think Terry is just like, hey, if that's what you feel, we're going to go with it. But I feel like Terry already has something in his back pocket. So if Arthur Smith does fail, it is because, again, we got to remember, even when it came down to the Matt Ryan situation, Matt Ryan was supposed to be our quarterback for 2 years. He was not supposed to go to the Colts, to be honest with you. He was supposed to be the quarterback for 2 years. But because Deshaun Watson decided to call up Arthur Blank, and Arthur Blank was like, hey, let's try. You know what I mean? We actually were about to have him. We were about to get him until, the Browns said they got desperate and decided they wanted to give $230 million guaranteed. So that's the whole reason why we didn't get that. But that would messed up the relationship with Matt Ryan because Matt Ryan, was supposed to be the game plan was Matt Ryan was supposed to be there. They weren't supposed to really go back in. If they did wanted to pick Desmond Ritter or pick a quarterback, when they picked the quarterback, they would prefer to sit him behind a vet, not Marcus Mariota. So the thing is, Arthur Blank kind of messed that up with the whole Deshaun Watson situation and why we had to move on too quickly to a quarterback. But it's because we drafted this man that Arthur Smith is like, look, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make him work. And it's just not working. That's just what it is. But I'm gonna throw Rich McKay in there because Rich McKay hired Arthur Smith, and that's his guy. So Rich McKay is not gonna look bad either.
I told you, Rich McKay is evil. I said he's evil.
So if you guys think that, for the most part, like I didn't think to add McKay in there, but between the three, if Arthur Smith is kind of the main person that kind of fought for Desmond Ritter to be the quarterback for this season, he can't then turn around and be like, I don't trust him to make plays. I don't think you can do both of those. You can't go into the city like
he
like obviously, yeah. Well, that's the thing. That's my thing. Like Arthur Smith saw them 4 games last year. He saw what Desmond Ritter did. He saw what he was capable of doing, what he wasn't capable of doing. He maybe projected some things and be like, okay, this is maybe what he could do. Okay. And then he saw what he could do in off-season, training camp, preseason. Like he saw all that. He's seen way more than what we've seen of Desmond Ritter. And he made a decision to say, like, this is the quarterback for the 2023 season. And then what? How many, like 4 or 5 games in, you're deciding to bench him? This was your decision, and now you're benching. Like, in my eyes, if I'm the general manager, I'm kind of looking at Arthur Smith like, dog, I did everything. I did my job. Like, I got you a defense. I hate when this does that because I do too many hand motions or whatever. But it's like, if I'm the owner, if I'm the general manager, I'm looking at Arthur Smith like, dog, I went out there and spent big money on Jesse Bates. I brought in Calais Campbell for leadership and a vet. As a GM, I got you Drake London. I got you Bijan. I got you Kyle Pitts. I built you a pretty solid O-line. I got you a secondary running back that can be a 3-down running back. And you told me that we were good at quarterback. So I didn't go out there. Like I put it out there that we're not interested in Lamar Jackson. Like when obviously I know like Lamar Jackson was not leaving the Ravens. Everybody knows that.
Yeah, yeah, we
But
knew that. Yeah,
but it's the fact that the Falcons immediately came out and were like, we're not interested. And I think if it had came out that the Falcons were making a call, like, hey, we shot an email or we had a meeting, that maybe we might, want to try to see what's up with Lamar, see how he's feeling. I feel like that would give the Falcons fan base a little bit of like an understanding that, okay, Desmond's not the guy that they want. They're looking to at least try to upgrade the position. The fact that they were just like not interested. Trey Lance not interested. I don't know who else was available, but you understand what I'm saying. Like it's the fact that they didn't go out, like their name wasn't attached to any quarterback.
yeah.
And now you're telling me that this guy isn't good enough, and he's on the bench. If I'm the GM, I'm looking at Arthur Smith like, so what are you doing? Like you're fucking up my job. Like you're making my job harder. Like I could have went out there and got you a quarterback.
Well, the thing about it is, one, Terry didn't hire Arthur Smith, so Terry's job is safe. Arthur Smith is on his own because they hired the coach before they hired Terry Fontenot. So Terry Fontenot is just going to go with what is being told to him when it comes down to it. Now, here's the thing when it comes down to the benching. Again, I think, as we said, and I'm going to say it, you put your kid in timeout. That's basically what Arthur Smith did to Desmond Ridder. He put him in timeout. And I think that they were trying to, see if the shakeup can kind of actually see if it was any different. And Tyler Heineke showed why the hell that wasn't going to work. So, again, it's almost kind of like, okay, it's like a damn if I do, damn if I don't situation. I'm going to have to go over there. And I feel like Ridder has learned enough. It's just, again, he's just, you just throw turnovers, honey. That's it. It's just you turn the ball over too much. You know what I mean? And that's just like one of those iron wrinkles. And I'm gonna throw this person out here, even though he's been playing excellent these past couple of games. But we all know that Dak Prescott was good for 1 or 2 interceptions a game. We know that. Just like I said. But the problem is the difference between Desmond Ridder and a Dak Prescott and the Josh Allen and the Jalen Hurts. They know how to go out there and make plays to help their team win. The turnovers that we're getting are costly turnovers that are helping us lose. And they're not doing anything. And then, too, it's putting the defense in a bad position. Again, that last game that we played against with the Minnesota Vikings, and we're just trying to figure out what the heck our defense is doing. The defense was tired. Offense can't sustain drives. They can't do anything, and that's not helping the cause. When it comes down to it, again, you have a bend don't break defense. They're going to break eventually. Okay. They're going to bend and break. I'm sorry. But, especially when you don't have particular guys out there, you know what I mean? You're working with second and third stringers at this point. It's just around that time. Like, hey, we got to do something. And I think the bye week came at the right time for them to sit down and really have a come to Jesus moment. And they need to really have this come to Jesus moment quick, because it's like y'all got first place in the division. Now y'all got to go sit over here and win. If y'all can make the playoffs, Arthur's job is dang for sure solidified and safe. If we don't make those playoffs and we lose that first place division, I'm not going to say he's going to lose his job, but he is going to have to give up that play calling. They're going to make him make that decision to give up that play calling, and there's going to have to be a need for a quarterback. And I don't think that they want to. So that's why we have now been tied to Justin Fields, possibly, or even drafting somebody in the draft. You know what I mean? So again, we're trying to see. Like I said, we are the division leaders at 5-6. We did say that we win 10 games, even though our roster showed that we can win freaking 10 games. It just didn't plan out the way it was. We didn't expect our offensive line to regress. We didn't expect the play caller to freaking regress. We didn't expect none of this. We thought we were going to be elevated, and it just didn't show that. So yeah.
Yeah, it didn't show because we have drafted playmakers in the top 10, and our head coach / offensive play caller refuses to use them. It's like when your parents buy you shiny new toys as a kid and spend all that money, they waste their money, and then next Christmas they don't want to buy you what you wanted because they know you're going to waste it. Like, that's what he's doing. That's what his dad does at FedEx. So, he learned from the best. Fuck that guy. I need him to lose his fucking job. I'm so tired of seeing him. Speaking of running backs. So there's a yeah, it's dumb. There's a stupid debate on Twitter about who's the better running back, Bijan Robinson or Tyler Algier. Why, you might ask? Well, apparently in the Saints game, Bijan only averaged 5.7 yards. Algier averaged 6.4 yards per carry. So we have people really saying that Tyler Algier is a better back, and it's a whole serious argument down Falcons Twitter, at least the people I haven't muted and blocked. I don't know why this is a thing. They're both really great backs. I don't I don't understand. Bijan at 91 yards, Algier at 64, just because one had more average carry yards than the other. That makes them better. And all of a sudden now Bijan is a wasted pick because of that. Like, what is happening?
Well, again, it just comes back to him not just being. I think a lot of people wanted him. Um, I think they wanted him to be what a lot of the Falcon fans were out there saying that he was going to be. You know how he was going to be used. He was going to be used in the passing game. We're going to run him and different things like that. But I mean, again, there shouldn't be no debate because Tyler Algier is going out there and getting, his touches. I think Arthur Smith finally had the light bulb turn on. It's like, hey, run Bijan first and then bring Tyler Algier out there when the defense is getting tired because he's going to bully them. He's going to, punish them in that case. And then you could still bring Bijan out there, even though we really thought that that's what it was going to be in the first place. You were going to run Bijan and then run Tyler Algier. It took him a little bit longer to get that going. We should have been saw that. You know what I mean? We should have been saw what we saw against the Saints because, and then, like I said, we were calling it run Bijan, then Tyler, throw CP in there a little bit of it, and you're going to wear the defense out. But no, that didn't happen. And then, CP was injured at the beginning of the season. It took him a minute to sit over there and get that. CP was injured. We didn't expect CP to be injured, to be honest with you. But it took him a minute to kind of get his flow going with that. But that was the synopsis. Like, we can line Bijan up. Now you got to pick your poison. We got Jonnu Smith out there. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Drake London. Then you got Bijan. And then Tyler Algier in the back or CP in the back. We had plans and we saw what could be done. And it just did not get done for whatever reason. Whatever reason.
All those games.
Like, I'm not going to blame it solely on Desmond Ridder. I'm going back to the offensive coordinator. I'm going back to my play caller. I'm going back to the coach because at this point, why weren't we seeing those type of sets? You like to run 2 tight end sets. Why weren't we seeing 2 tight end sets? Why are we not seeing the play action from Desmond anyway? Because that's what he's good at. Let the man use his legs. Where's the quarterback draw? Like, we didn't see a lot of things that we thought we were going to see. And I think that's where it puts a lot of people like, why is he not using his weapons? Why he's not doing this? Why he's not using his 8th round pick that, that he got? He wanted the running back. Why didn't he do that? Especially since you're seeing what Jalen Carter is doing. But at the same token, it's like, again, he didn't do a lot of things that we thought he was going to do on that offense, to be perfectly honest with you. It's like the whole team regressed. It literally looks like that. It looks like the whole team had regressed, honestly.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, for y'all arguing about that, I think I still saw it today a little bit this morning. Like, we won. We did what we've been asking him to do, which is run the fucking ball with our weapons. That happened. So let's be fucking happy about that. At the same token, I'm gonna probably regret saying this, but I wanted Bijan. Like, I knew we weren't going defense because of free agency. I just was like, we can't go defense because free agency, we went all defense and spent all that money, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm cool with us getting Bijan. Great running back. Why not do that again? We did it years before it worked. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
However, with that being said, Arthur Smith is just now using Bijan and using our running back weapons. So it's just like, why didn't we pick up the UGA players that y'all want that are on the Eagles right now. We could have used them if you weren't going to use Bijan this whole time. Granted, those injuries, like to call it injury gate, those mysterious injuries Bijan had that weren't reported, that they
Whatever
sweep
happened?
under
Whatever
the
happened with
rug.
that? Whatever happened with that?
What?
It's still swept under the rug.
It's called we have Rich McKay in our front office, so anything that's going to be there is going to get swept under the rug. Yeah,
Didn't the NFL didn't like investigate this or just like,
we got Rich McKay in the front office. That's your next. Once Roger Goodell finally steps down, that's going to be your next NFL commissioner. So yes.
oh that's nasty. That's nasty. Oh
You
my
see how
god.
we've never heard about it again?
No, I'm just
We
he's a part of the competition. He's part of the competition. He's the head of the competition committee. That's literally your spot. That you, when you have that position and have that title, that's you getting prepared and getting ready to become the next commissioner of the NFL.
That's crazy.
So
That's
yeah,
crazy.
he was supposed to. You remember when Roger Goodell's contract was supposed to come up and they didn't know if they were going to renew it or if he was going to step down and finally retire and we were going to be looking for a new NFL commissioner. That's why we brought in Scott Pioli into the front office and we had all that little front office little jibber jab going on right there with Rich McKay still being there because he technically was supposed to leave and go be the next NFL commissioner. But that didn't happen. He decided Roger Goodell decided to stay the NFL commissioner and sign him a new contract. But his contract is coming up again, so Rich McKay's rubbing his hands once more.
About to sneak on in there.
I
will say it is kind of. I don't understand what the argument is between Bijan and Tyler. Like I think stupid. it's a good problem to have as someone that is currently going through it. Like Jonathan Taylor missed the first 5 games of the season, and the first game of the season, we had no running back. Like the running back, I can't even remember the dude's name, but he was just so bad. Like he couldn't see the field, terrible vision, fumbled the ball, like pretty much gave the game away. And then, Zach Moss got healthy, and from for 5 weeks, he was like the leading rusher in the NFL. And then Jonathan Taylor comes back, and now you can ease him in. You can give Zach Moss the bulk of the carries, give Jonathan Taylor 5, 10. Jonathan Taylor starts getting his feet under him. Now it's a little bit more balanced. Now Jonathan Taylor's kind of back to who he was. Now you start giving Jonathan Taylor more of the carries. Zach Moss is kind of in the background. And now, unfortunately, Jonathan Taylor is hurt. He's going to be out for 2 to 3 weeks. But we've seen what Zach Moss can do. We know Zach Moss can produce behind this line and on this team.
Yeah.
So it would be foolish to be like, well, Tyler Algier is better. Get him out of here. Or Bijan's not as good. You want to have as many good players as you can, even if it's at at the same position. You want to have more because it's the NFL. People get hurt. It's just something that happens. That people are just gonna get hurt at any position. It doesn't matter what it can be. Running back, offensive lineman, quarterback, defensive lineman, every position, everybody is gonna get hurt. So you want to have talent stacked on top of talent. You want to have multiple good running backs. You want to have multiple good tight ends. Every position, if you got 4 good corners, get 5. Who cares? Because one of them corners is gonna get hurt. It happens to everybody. So this is a good problem to have and to argue about it. It's just dumb. I don't know why y'all argue about everything.
Because again, our fan base is split. You got people who are still stuck in the Mike Vick era, and then you got people that are moving forward and just going along with what the team is right now. But it's the ones that are stuck in the Mike Vick era that are the ones that we have to have the problem with. It's the ones that, want them to get a Justin Fields. They wanted the Lamar Jackson. They wanted the Deshaun Watson.
Please stop saying Justin Fields because they was on my ass on Thursday night. Or what was it? Sunday night? Monday night? When did the Bears play?
Monday.
I was tweeting about something about Justin Fields. And fucking South Breeze retweeted something I said. And Falcons fans were all on my ass. I'm just like, dog, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this. You know what I'm saying? I was just saying, dude, I was just saying, obviously, if the Panthers keep doing what they're doing, the Bears are going to draft Caleb Williams and they're going to move on from Justin Fields. And I just said, heck, hey, there's a lot of it wasn't just the Falcons. I named maybe I should find the tweet, but there's a bunch of teams that should look into what Justin Fields can bring to them. I even suggested the Eagles bring him in as a backup. If you have Jalen Hurts out there, and the reason why I picked the Eagles, obviously, Jalen Hurts is like the franchise quarterback. He's not going nowhere. Like he's solidified. Like I love Jalen Hurts. Like outside of my team, I'm low key rooting for him to win a Super Bowl. I think that's the best. That would be the best story in the NFL if he were to win the Super Bowl. But if I'm an Eagles fan, I don't like that tush push, man. I don't like it. I'd rather put Justin Fields in there and let him do it. Like stop putting your franchise quarterback in that. Like go look at that play. Look at what they're doing to that quarter. Like I know Jalen Hurts is like a man. He's a man's man. He can squat 600 pounds. He's got the clearest face of all time. He looks like a model. He's got everything going for him. His girl is beautiful. Like whatever. We get it, Jalen Hurts. You're the man. Whatever. But if I'm a fan of the Eagles and you look at like the overhead view of the tush push, you got Jalen Hurts bumping in to his offensive lineman. You got defensive linemen pushing against him. And then you got the running backs and tight ends push. Like he's just in the middle of all that mess. Why am I putting my quarterback in that position? We didn't see for the longest time. We don't see Patrick Mahomes do quarterback sneaks. They just don't do it. They're just like, he is too valuable for that. We'll figure out a different way to do it. And if I'm the Eagles, bring in Justin Fields. Hey man, you're our tush push guy. That's it. And
right now, to be honest with you, in the NFL, now I think it's out. I want to say this season, but I haven't really seen that many quarterback sneaks this season. Like from a lot of
they don't do it.
Yeah, I haven't do it. Yeah, I haven't seen. You might get a few here or there, but I'm not gonna. It wasn't like that. Like Tom Brady was a quarterback sneak king. Okay, like that was his thing. He was gonna quarterback sneak in 2.5 seconds. Same thing with Drew Brees. I just don't. I honestly just don't see that anymore. I mean, the Panthers can't do it anyway. They got a little Mighty Mouse over there, so I feel bad for them because they can't even sniff it. So yeah. That's just how I feel about that. Yeah, I got to throw shots at the. I have to throw shots at the Panthers anytime that I got because the Panther fans were talking so much this offseason about how Bryce Young was going to break Cam Newton's rookie passing yards, how they were going to win the division, how they was finna show us their defense was this. They had the best coaching staff in the league. So yeah.
I remember that.
That coaching staff is out of here too. Like half of that coaching staff is out of here.
Exactly. So that I have to anytime there's an easy shot for the Panthers, I gotta take it because it's like y'all did all of that when people try to tell you y'all are better off by starting Andy Dalton and working Bryce Young in there, and they didn't want to listen to that, and the owner didn't want to listen to that. So at the end of the day. Now look at them. Y'all 1-6, and y'all ain't even got a first round pick. The Bears got that, the number 1 pick.
That's
and then
so bad.
And then you gave away your best player when you could have just gave away Brian Burns and just went to go find you another defensive player, another edge. You could have did that and kept DJ Moore, but no, you decided to go get rid of DJ Moore to keep Brian Burns, and now you don't have no offensive weapons at all. So now you got to figure this out. So yeah,
it's pathetic.
I found the what I said about the teams. I said that because after this season, Justin Fields only has 1 year left on his contract, on his rookie deal.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Bears are not going to keep him. And for the Bears, I'm not saying that Justin Fields is a bust, but for the Bears, for them, he's a bust. Like he's a top 10 pick at quarterback on his rookie contract. And you're moving on from him before his rookie contract is over. You're not keeping him. Technically, he's a bust. I still think he's good enough to play in the league. But, you're bringing in Caleb Williams. He's only got 1 year left on his deal. You can only ask for so much value for Justin Fields. Like, you can't say, well, we're only going to take a second round pick for Justin Fields. Like, you can't do that. Because if no team takes it, you just got to bring him back, and you don't want to have a quarterback room with those two guys in it respectfully. So I think if you're a team, you call up the Bears and like, hey, I got a 4th round pick. Can we get Justin Fields? I think a 4th round pick is good enough. Maybe a 3rd if you're really kind of, if you want to push it, like if you want to get him. But the teams that I listed that should call and say like, hey, we got a 3rd or a 4th round pick for Justin Fields, the Jets, The Jets, the Vikings, Falcons, Bucks, Saints, Broncos, Ravens, Eagles. All those teams, I'm not saying they should do it and bring him in as a unquestioned starter, but at the very least, if he's imagine if the Jets had Justin Fields right now instead of Zach Wilson and whoever else is over there. Or the Vikings. Like the Vikings are kind of in an okay position with Dobbs, but they had to trade for him. The Bucks, Saints, Broncos, even teams like the Ravens and the Eagles, we're not bringing it. He knows he's not coming in to start. Like Jalen Hurts was in the Super Bowl last year. You're not starting. He's on the cover of GQ magazine. You ain't doing shit over here. Lamar Jackson won an MVP. He's the face of this franchise. You know, like Justin Fields comes in knowing like, hey, I'm on that Trey Lance plan right now. I'm here to learn from the vet, maybe get some playing time in garbage time, show that I can be a professional, maybe do something in the preseason, and maybe someone will give me a shot later, or I'll just be, one of those quarterbacks that's in the league for 10 years as a backup. But like that's and I didn't think that was unreasonable. Like all the teams I listed, I think it would be fair. Like it's not out of the ordinary to just be like, oh, Justin Fields, just bring him in, let him compete. If he's not good enough, let him be a backup. Let him do the tush push. Like who cares? It's only for 1 year. He's gonna take up like he makes like I think like a little over $1 million. That's nothing for your cap. So it's not like he's expensive.
Yeah, I agree.
Never tweeting about Justin Fields again.
Yeah. Don't even do it. Don't even do it.
It's not worth it. I'm gonna have to block South Breeze.
Yeah,
you should.
I'm dead.
But we got the Saints in that realm. You got a question, or is that your question?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. So my question. So I did see an article. So as a Colts fan, I am not like I don't have the same animosity towards Saints fans the way Falcons fans do. Like division rival. Atlanta and New Orleans are pretty close to each other. They kind of have the same little vibe or whatnot. So I get the whole rivalry that you guys have going. But way back when the Colts were in the Super Bowl and they did lose to the Saints. And that was one of the worst losses that I've ever been a part of because I lost a bet that required me to be photographed in a Saints jersey, which hopefully that picture is nowhere on the internet anywhere. Please don't Google that or look that up. But so like the last like maybe 3 to 4 years of Drew Brees' career, I was publicly saying that man had a noodle arm and that he couldn't throw the ball deep and he's got a weak arm, blah, blah, blah. Why is he still in the league? This dude is trash. Like he's clearly washed up. They're just paying him to pay him. And then recently I read an article, I think like yesterday or 2 days ago, that it basically says that Drew Brees cannot throw the ball with his kids with his right arm because it's so fucked up. And my question was, do I need to apologize for that? Because clearly something was wrong with his shoulder. I couldn't imagine being like a Hall of Fame quarterback that threw all them passes, made all that money, and when I retire, when I want to throw the ball with my kids, I got to use my left hand because my right arm is so fucked up.
It's his shoulder. Drew Brees always had injuries to his shoulder. So that rotator cuff is probably sitting on a lot of what do you call that tissue? It's gonna come to me later. But he has a lot. He has a scar tissue. He has a lot of scar tissue that's still there from all the times where his shoulder didn't popped out of his socket. He didn't have shoulder. Like you gotta remember, I think Drew Brees had like 2 times where he had shoulder surgery. So
San Diego.
Yeah,
that's why they got rid of him. Like,
exactly.
It's one of the things where it's like damn. Like I kind of feel bad for kind of because it's like I said earlier, man. Football's a tough sport and people get hurt. Like I was going hard on Drew Brees for a few years. I'm just like, damn, I kind of feel bad that he can't he has to he probably had to work on like, all right, I have to throw the ball with my left hand. Like I can he basically made it seem like his right arm is useless. Like he can't do anything
It's
with it.
probably it's probably is useless. Like again, I
Mhm.
don't think a lot of people realize too, and I'm not just saying you, but just in general, I don't think a lot of people realize just what any type of athlete, from basketball players to football players to soccer players, to
Yeah.
baseball players, is like once you settle back from the strenuous workout, the adrenaline and all of that, when it comes down to playing the sport, that's when you finally feel what your body has been trying to tell you for all of that situation. You know what I mean? It's gonna always be F Drew
Mhm.
Brees. It really is.
Right.
Um,
I see
Always.
like,
that.
I've been waiting to say that shit. Fuck that man. We don't give a fuck.
yeah, it's always gonna be F Drew Brees. But
Yeah.
again, I put it like this: LeBron is everybody's favorite basketball player. Once LeBron
Mhm.
finally sits his ass down and retire, them knees is gonna start barking, baby.
Mhm.
Whoo, them knees gonna start barking. He's
Whoop.
gonna say it because again, once you take a step away from the game and you're not doing those workouts like you're used to, you're not really, putting yourself through the strenuous of a off-season program and actually playing, throughout what basketball is 10 months. If you include like that, so you might as well say almost a whole entire fucking year, like 11 months. So you're gonna feel it. So I mean, at this point, he should have known that. He should have retired soon. Ain't nobody tell your ass to play into your 40s. I bet Tom Brady walking around
Exactly.
now creaking everywhere he stepped. Creak, 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 creak. Like,
That's what
shoot,
I'm like.
y'all ain't got no business playing until y'all 40s. Shoot, y'all gonna have that rheumatoid arthritis, and I'm gonna be laughing at you at that point because somebody should have told you to go ahead and start. Nobody start that retirement, okay? Gonna be sitting over here walking, throwing up gang signs like he in YSL. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, man. Fuck Drew Brees. You ain't said you called him noodle arm. We've called him much worse.
They
Much,
they didn't they called
much worse.
Man Noodle arm.
Much worse than a fucking noodle arm. It's not. Nobody told him to play those extra 3 to 4 years.
His arm was
You know, when
already
he could have been
shot.
playing with his kids. Nobody
Yeah,
told him
my
to do
thing
that.
about it is his arm was already shot before that. You just again, when your body's telling you to quit, a lot of people don't want to quit, but it's really for your best benefit to quit. And he didn't quit. That's why I said nobody tell y'all to
Yep,
play until y'all about 40. Nobody can tell y'all to do
no
that.
problem.
That's y'all asses.
I think that I read the same thing happened to Dirk Nowitzki. Like he said, he shouldn't have played his last like 2 to 3 years because now his
Oh
knees
yeah.
are like completely fucked up. Like before, it was like it was a little bit more doable. But he said the last 2 to 3 years of his career, he
And
should
people
have
don't
retired.
realize Dirk was out a lot of games because of those
He didn't
knees.
play a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, he didn't
He
play a
didn't
lot.
play a lot.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people don't realize either. He didn't play a lot. So again, like I said, you're gonna get, once you hit 35, you start leaning in and looking at retirement at that point. Especially if you know for a fact you have been taking a lot of hits, you've been doing a lot of that. Like who was over there getting a butt sacked so many times before? I forgot who that was, but I'm just like, yeah, they gonna feel that. And the Kirk Cousin is one of them. Kirk Cousins is gonna feel it once he retires. You know what
Oh
I
yeah.
mean?
He
Like
said that
he's
on
gonna.
that quarterback show. He was feeling it then. So
No,
he's
he,
really gonna feel it once
Great
he
show.
stops.
he said
That was a great show.
he said he had bruises he didn't know he even had. I'm like,
Right. I was like,
that's
God
what happens when you
damn.
play football. That's
Man
what
getting used and abused.
exactly.
Before we wrap this up with some Jets predictions, the prediction for the Jets games. So, if y'all don't know, the Falcons had a alleged concert. They were promoted like a concert at the game versus Saints, but it wasn't actually a concert. So folks got scammed, and I want everybody to get their money back from that via FedEx shipping, overnight shipping via FedEx, because y'all definitely got scammed with those tickets because it wasn't actually a real concert. Ti performed; his mic was off. They said the mics were bad the whole time. Also, what had happened, I don't know if it was while Luda was performing or while Jeezy was performing, but Ti's son, one of them, King, decided to go on live, and during that live, I guess he was being punked out, and all of a sudden he starts pushing his mama. His mama telling him to chill out, and then Ti chokes him up on Instagram Live, I believe it was. Um, so that was some game action. y'all should have been, I don't know, parenting him instead of checking your daughter's hymen. Um, Maybe y'all should have been raising King. He's been bad since for a long time. I don't care what y'all say about, oh my God, he was raised by his grandma. I don't give a fuck about who he was actually raised by. He still has been enjoying, as you can see, all the perks of a spoiled rich kid. So who the fuck? That little boy's bad. He's been bad. Instead of trying to track your daughters and what the fuck they got going on, minding they fucking business, you should have been raising that little badass boy,
I mean,
and he wouldn't be embarrassing y'all.
King is the black sheep of the family, honey. It ain't no raising him. He came out like that. There's no raising him. That's hence why he got sent to his grandmother's house. And then you already know grandmamas, they gonna do whatever they can for their grandchildren. So it was a setup from the beginning. The thing about it is he's just trying to live a life, and he's trying to live his life like his daddy and try to think that he know what the bando is, that he know what the trap is. I'm like, baby, you was a 2000 baby. By the time you came out and started walking, all that stuff in Atlanta was already out the window. Do you hear me?
Out the window,
You
gone.
you,
Bye
you
bye.
didn't you didn't get to experience the 90s and the early 2000s when it was real out here, okay? When Big Meech was running stuff out here, okay? Oh, all
Nah,
right. Like you wasn't out here when the game bangers was for real, okay? We ain't
uh,
up here talking about slime life and different things and stuff like that. We ain't up here doing that. We ain't talking about some I believe in. We ain't talking about that. Okay,
man, you couldn't
it was
go.
real Bloods and Crips. Okay, we weren't talking about
Uh,
that.
Avoided certain streets, avoided certain neighborhoods.
You didn't
Like,
even want to go to Decatur like that. You didn't even want to roll over
you
there
did
to
not.
motherfucking Bankhead. You didn't want to roll over there to the West End. You didn't want to roll
Mm,
over there to Kirkwood. You didn't want to roll over there for Memorial Drive. Okay,
hello.
Glenwood, Snapfinger. You don't want to do all that. Shout out to the East
N-
Side though.
now it's all, oh yeah, let's go brunch and stuff, and you see white people jogging. You're like, what
Baby,
the fuck?
they got a $1 million home being built over there in Pittsburgh. That's all I gotta say.
Nah, I saw that shit. I saw that shit. $500,000 townhouses on Bankhead. That
So again, that's why I said, and King, thank you, baby. You don't know nothing. Let's go to the bando. What bando? What
the
bando?
bando ATL, you can get wings there and see what a
Okay,
real
exactly.
bando
Thank,
used to look
thank
like.
you, thank
That's
you,
about it. That's about that's about it.
thank you.
Had that
That's all.
boy stoked
That's
up.
all you can. That's all you can get. You want to go get some wings? That's what's gonna be. Because I don't know
Yeah,
what
niggas.
the traps ain't even trapping like that no more. That's all I gotta
Nope.
say.
Not no more. You get gentrified. May I have one weed,
You
please?
yeah, you can walk in and order your stuff. That's what you can do now.
I would like two weeds, please. I have $50. How many weeds would that give me? How many perks can I get for $2? Like,
You right, Rod. Glenwood do got beachfront properties at this point.
dog,
Like that
man, it's crazy out here. That shit was funny. That shit was crazy. Like, get out of my face. Get that big horse teeth mouth boy out of my face.
Jesus.
I'm tired of
no,
seeing him.
no, he sucked his pacifier. That's why he pushed his teeth out.
Oh, someone did say
Oh,
he sucked his pacifier till he was
His
12.
mama didn't know. His mama said that he did. You couldn't even see it on the show. He was about like 19. They were trying to tell him to let the pacifier go. He was 10 years old, so had a pacifier in his mouth on the show.
I forgot about the episode.
Yeah, he said that
Oh,
pacifier.
that's bad.
Yeah,
Lord.
he was walking. They was
That's
sitting
bad.
over there, sitting on the side like that, and he was sucking
Yeah,
on
he
that
was
pacifier.
like chewing on it.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
That's why I
That's
said when
that's
she said
crazy.
it, when she said something, he let his pacifier go till he was 12. Like, dude, you sucking on a pacifier at 12 years old. See, like I said, I ain't gonna do it. I ain't gonna say no more.
12 years old is crazy. That's crazy to still have a pacifier. Like that's a long time. Like I couldn't even
The thing,
imagine that.
but see what he don't realize back in the day, the pacifier back in the 80s used to be for those that used to do crack. That was a way to overcome them wanting that crack for them. And they used to go get them pacifiers and just suck on them until they was able to get that crack. That's how they was trying to, break away from that. But that's where that really came from, where you thought people used to do that shit for cute. Because I remember some girls back in the early 90s used to think that walking around there with pacifiers they mouth was cute. Like, you little crack fiends. But that's just me.
Exactly. On that dope. That's good. It's funny watching like rich kids try to live like their parents struggle. Like
dog.
what like when did he listen to Urban Legend? Like did he just listen to that? He just heard trap music? That's had to be what happened. Like
That's what it
within
is.
like the last year.
Yeah, that
He
but
just heard them.
what it is. They asked him in the video, have you ever woke up with a roach on your face or a roach in your ear? And he was like, oh yeah, when I went over there to grandma's house, I'm like, shoot, my grandma had roaches in her house too. Both of them. Like both of them. I'll never forget you sitting over there talking, and I'm just looking, and there's like the damn roach is coming down the wall. I'm like, is that a roach? I didn't want to sleep there. I did not want to sleep there. I love my granny to death. May she rest in peace. But I did not want to sleep there because I was scared of them roaches. I didn't want to wake up with a roach on my face. Like, what? No, I don't want to do that.
I love her horror story about that.
I don't even like when damn mosquitoes be buzzing by my ear. You think I want a roach by my ear? No, I don't want that. Like, and he thinking that he thinking that stuff is cute. Some of my grandma, everybody grandma got roaches in their house. Like, shoot, that's how you know that was a real granny house too. She had my other granny in Augusta had the little trap, the little black, the little black, little round little traps had it all. Yeah. Damn house. What we talking about?
Shout out to Augusta.
Richmond,
man, like he just it's the thing with kids nowadays, man. It's just like they all want the street cred. Like your dad is a multi-millionaire. Your mom, your mom is a multi-millionaire. Like it's
gated community.
Yes, you grew up with celebrity parents. You're going to be you're fine. Like no one's gonna they're gonna rank on you being like, oh, you're private school kid, silver spoon. Like, yeah, okay, and so what?
Exactly.
Like, okay. I drive a Bentley.
There's a lot of people who grew up in the hood would want that life. They didn't want the life they're living over there in the hood. Having to be honest with you, having to wake up sometimes not knowing where the food coming from, if the light you're gonna have heat. You know what I mean? Sharing rooms with brothers and sisters and stuff like that. Like, I grew up as an only child, so I'm glad I didn't have to share a room with nobody. And I'll be honest with you, but I know for a fact if I had a brother or sister, I probably would have killed them by now. I ain't finna lie to you.
Right. Everybody in the hood, they fought to get out of the hood. Most of them did. Like
exactly.
You want to go there?
I do kind of think that a little bit of this was fake though. Just because like immediately, like the very next day, like on Tuesday, there was like a video like him and T.I. were doing an interview with like Complex, and now him and his son have a song coming out. Like, all right, man, I see.
The thing about it is, but I'm like, but you gotta understand. So you know how sometimes your parents will sit over there and put you in a Willie Nelson, and they will take you to ice cream and go get it the next day. That's basically what that is.
Yeah.
Like that's basically. My mama did that before. She had me sitting over here looking like this, and then told me, I love you, right? So again,
Get your ass beat 1 hour. The next you're going to McDonald's for ice cream.
You know that good old ass whooping that you got because you did something wrong, so your parent whooped your ass, and then they'll come over there talking about that hurt me more than that hurt you. You all right? Want some meat?
I got flashbacks.
I love you. You know what I mean? We all know that's what it is. That's all that's literally what it is. He choked him out and probably said, "Look here, son, don't do that no goddamn more. I love you." You know what I mean? It's gonna be like that. Our parents always used to say, "I brought you into this world. I could take you out." That was a take you out moment right there that he
had. Public, like he got to sit down somewhere. But shout out to his other two sons. Domani is making some great J. Cole like music. I've been following him on TikTok, and the oldest son, he's a little rock star, and he can actually sing and play the guitar. So shout out to them for doing good. That other one, the whole family needs therapy.
He's the black sheep of the family. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
He's the wild child. Everybody else just accepted their fate. We celebrity children. He don't want to accept that. That's it.
It's all good. Shout out to them. Jets, we got upcoming. We're gonna play the Jets. Like South Bree said earlier, I don't think it's gonna be a cakewalk because we just can't trust. You can't ever trust the Falcons to do right. Like some winnable games, we be losing, and it's because we beat ourselves, not the other team beats us. Yeah. So, I think it's gonna be a close game. Personally, I hope we win, of course. But who knows? I don't think I have a score prediction because I'm just nervous. Because
I'm not nervous.
Talking something up.
I'm not nervous. As long as Georgia go out there and do what they do, I will come into Sunday peace. Be still.
See, that's why I'm glad I'm not into college football like that. I can't have Saturday and Sunday be stressing me out. I just need
Oh,
one.
Georgia don't stress me out. Georgia comes to play when Georgia comes to play. It's the Falcons that stress me out, and then the Hawks are starting to have me pull out my hair and have me kind of regret
Yep.
these damn season tickets. So,
Okay.
at
I
this
do.
point, like I said, as long as my Georgia Bulldogs come in and do what they gonna do, at this point, the Falcons win or lose, I'm gonna be at peace. If they win, good. If they
Maybe.
lose, it is what it is at this point. I'm bypassing all at this point, to be honest with you.
I feel like there's like a New York Jets YouTube channel having the same discussion about like the Falcons and the Jets and what are the keys to the game and whatever.
Mm.
I feel like it's the same for both teams. It's whose quarterback is not going to make a mistake. Like Desmond Ritter, if Desmond Ritter goes out there, doesn't throw a pick, doesn't make any dumb plays, the Falcons are going to win. If I don't even know who the Jets quarterback is. Is it?
I think it's Boyd.
It's not
It's Boyd.
Boyle.
Boyle.
Zach Boyle. Well, yeah.
Whatever his name is.
That would be.
If Zach, yeah, it's like if Zach Boyle goes out there and makes like a play, like makes one throw, because it's gonna be a lot of one-on-one covers. Because like if I'm the Falcons, I'm blitzing every play. Beat me. I dare your quarterback to beat me, and I think the Falcons should do the same. One-on-one everybody and blitz the hell out of that quarterback and dare him to beat you. And whoever's quarterback plays the least worst is gonna win the game.
I'm at.
Because I don't want to say they're gonna play. Whoever plays the least bad is gonna win that game.
That sounds about right. That sounds about right.
I mean that's those are the keys. I mean, but like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter with me. We win, cool. We lose, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah,
We fight on another day.
Exactly. I'm just like, hey, like I said, we can't win. We gotta win the rest. We can't, like, since we lost against what was it, the Vikings? No, the Cardinals. Since we lost against the Cardinals, if we would have won that game, we could have just we if we lost this game, it was cool. But we can't win no more. We can't lose no more than two. Like, 'cause if we lose this one, we only got one more. If we lose another one, that's it. Call it a day. Like, we gotta hope the Saints get beat out for us to even stay where we are, and the Bucks don't win. That's what we gotta hope.
I got you. And I know I'm gonna get attacked for this, but I'm just gonna say it. I want Arthur Smith fired. So I'm not gonna be like a little happy if we lose the rest of the games. But I want that man fired by any means necessary. So, I like winning, but I'm also chilling because that means Arthur Smith won't be here no more. And he'll be working at FedEx warehouse talking about do you need a box big enough to ship whatever you need to ship? And I'd be like, fuck you, but yes, thank you.
I'm so dead. I'm so
throwing
dead.
it.
You know his daddy sold his share of the company, right? So his daddy's not even an owner anymore.
He still got the billions. He's still a trust fund baby.
He still retired, so his daddy don't even have any type of dealings with FedEx anymore.
Well, he could. I'm sure he could get. I'm sure he get his son a job at FedEx.
Mm-mm.
I am a goddamn villain. You is right. I wear that shit with pride. Call me the female Deadpool, cause fuck that guy. Anyways,
like fempool.
I quit.
I'll take that.
Are you so when the Falcons go to the playoffs, they're going to show up with a fire Arthur Smith sign after y'all win the division for the first time in like 5 years?
I need a shirt that says that actually. But yeah,
you guys are gonna be division champs, and you're gonna want the quarterback or you're gonna want the head coach fired. That's crazy.
All right, so let's go.
Hey, the Chargers did the same thing. The Chargers wanted their coach fired too. The Chargers wanted the same thing. So I'm not gonna bypass it.
If we go back to a year we don't like to speak about, remember I said even if we win a huge game with that one man that I hate, I still want him fired. Same thing, same concept here.
It's gonna be hilarious because you guys are gonna host a playoff game against like the Vikings, and then you're gonna win. That's what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna be in the second round of the playoffs and fire the head coach.
Good.
Second round.
He needs to be
Second round.
fired. He
Like
needs
I
to be
said,
fired.
the Chargers wanted their head coach fired, even though they went to the playoffs, and they still want him fired. So I'm just gonna say like this: we make it, we make it. We break a streak for the Falcons, but that still doesn't mean that Arthur Smith should be around. But if, like I said, if he does be around, he needs to just give up the play calling duty. Go get you a real offensive coordinator. I need some creativity.
That part. That part right there. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on this episode of Dirty Bird Nation Report. Which I don't know. When am I gonna change this fucking name? I keep playing around. Let me stop playing around. I'm gonna change this shit. Anyways, Marcus, do we have any shout outs?
Nah, shout out to y'all for having me on. It's always good to come in through and help out where I can, get in where I fit in. Follow the YouTube channel. Got some good stuff coming up, and yeah, appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Well, look,
Ed,
okay.
you got some shout outs?
I'm done with him. Shout out to everybody that's watching.
Oh,
Hope everybody had a great holiday and everything. Just make sure that you do follow me and my girls, Jody Newsom from Chiefs Kingdom. She also has her podcast as Kingdom Queens, where they talk nothing but Chiefs football. Then check out Meg Hall. She is also the writer for USA. Very good contact. It is her at is it's Megan L Hall. So make sure that you do follow her. She's also a fellow Colts fan to Marcus. So she does write and report on the Colts. As well as the Atlanta Dreams, and that's my other co-host. Follow me, Lady E. Tell them, but we do have our podcast called It's the Sports Tea. But you can follow us on YouTube at the Sports Tea and on our Twitter account at It's the Sports Tea as well. So be on the lookout for that. Also, I do another podcast with fellow Commanders fans called Enters the Lab. So make sure you catch us on Thursday at 6:30. It's a sports tea at 9 p.m. on Wednesday, and that's Eastern Standard Time for both. Okay. For both 6:30 for Enters the Lab and 9 p.m. for It's the Sports Tea. So yeah, I guess I'm a busy woman.
yes.
I'm a
Eb
very
is a busy woman, y'all. Catch her
Women,
everywhere. Everything will
women,
be in the description box.
women be talking, boy. I tell you what,
we're,
women be talking.
Really, I'm mad that she put guess what chicken butt.
Right.
That's
Come on.
Marcus. That's the chicken butt right there, Marcus.
Uh-huh.
There we go.
Marcus is a chicken butt, man. Eb does everything. She is super busy. We are glad to have you here. Thank you so much for coming on and making the time for us. Even though you got another show tomorrow and you did the spaces yesterday. And you got all this stuff going on.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is that's just what Jamaicans do.
Uh, oh, not she brought out the whole accent. She brought out the whole accent. Boop, 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 boop. Man, shout out this guy right
Shout
here
out to my
below.
yardies out there. Shout
Uh,
out Portmore, Jamaica in the building.
someone send me some jerk curry, please.
I'll cook
I'll
you some
I'll give you
curry
my
goat.
address. Oh shit.
It's
Well,
a
never mind.
holiday, so I'll cook
She
you
gonna
some
cook
curry
me some
goat.
curry goat. So never mind. Y'all can still send me some jerk. Put that fucking lighter down.
I'm, I'm not gonna fight with you.
Duh. But man, shout out to everybody. Shout out Big Country. He pulled through. I forgot to shout him out. He pulled through. Shout out to Smitty Force Machine, Berto, all them guys that keep supporting the journey, supporting my TikTok and all that shit. This guy right here, Sean J, right here, y'all gotta follow him. He does great fucking Falcons content. He's fucking great, like Foster Place. I love his content. Y'all make sure to subscribe to him and his YouTube channel. Shout out to Rod and Mara going off in the comments. Mara's a police, so y'all better watch out because she'll get y'all locked up. Whatever. I am not TikTok famous. No, that is Marcus. Get back here. Anyways, we appreciate y'all for watching. Make sure y'all subscribe to KTSE Av podcast as well. That's where you'll catch South Breeze and Marcus. Marcus Sniffles also has another channel, but everything will be in the description box below. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll catch y'all on the next episode. On that note, we are going to bed because we old and tired. Peace.
I'm